Welcome, Taurus. It's another month, February 2023, in fact, and here we see the chart for the coming month with a very, very powerful, directionally strong sun in the 10th house as the month commences. Let's keep an eye out on this solar movement here because later in the month it's going to make a conjunction here in the 10th house. There are three pairs of planets here that I think are very interesting. The Mercury and the Pluto combination there in your 9th house of higher learning, philosophical standards, educational pursuits. And right there from the 4th of February, you can see the impact that that's going to have. The conjunction is tight, and Mercury and Pluto produce some very transformative insights, understanding of a higher nature, and an ability for you to impact others with your insights. The full moon there on the 6th is in your 4th house. This has to do with your family life, domestic affairs. And so there'll be a little focus there around the 6th during that full moon in the sign of Leo. On the 11th, this combination of Mercury and Pluto will be at its most intense. That can often give some problems in communication. The trine aspect from the moon here in the 5th house may alleviate some of those difficulties, but at least Mercury is a fast-moving planet, as you can see, and that moves away from that conjunction rather quickly, activating even further this 10th house, which, as I mentioned earlier, contains the pair Sun-Saturn, highly responsible, sometimes very frustrating and weakening aspect here, depending on how you handle it. Some people like the challenge, additional responsibility in your work, taking on the woes of everyone else. You have this idealism of the conjunction of Venus and Neptune. There it is on the 15th. So perhaps you're aiming too high or aiming for something that is not necessarily possible. Here you're trying to please everyone, and the only way out of that is through meaningful dialogue shown by the transit of Mercury there in the 10th house. This could also show problems with employers because this 10th house, apart from regulating your career as a whole, has much to say about the relationship you have with your employer. This combination of Venus and Neptune in your 11th house is about profits and income from business if you happen to be running a business. And here we see on the 20th, the new moon also taking place in this area, just as Venus sneaks out into the 12th house to make contact with Jupiter. This is very, very lucky. This has to do with immigration, foreign travels. Yeah, pulling away from society and the general hubbub of life. You may need some downtime, as this 12th house has to do with a quieter sort of existence, a more introverted type of life. But the Venus-Jupiter combination is also very, very lucky. So here we see some benefits which will come to you, not necessarily on show, but these are internal elements of satisfaction, peace, and some level of understanding that can be gained through pulling away from your normal activities. Just towards the end of the month here, it's a short month, we see the Mercury-Saturn combo there. Again, hinting at more serious sorts of discussions that can take place with your employer or surrounding the work that you do. Mercury and Saturn usually show concentrated thought. So you'll be very, very focused. We saw firstly that you had that additional responsibility through that combined influence of the Sun and Saturn. And Then you've got the communicative Mercury Saturn. Perhaps you'll take on some new role, some new task that at first seems a little difficult to deal with, but then you're able to activate your mind, get into the swing of things and focus exclusively to that particular task at hand. Notice also the Moon-Mars combo, second house of finance. Be careful not to embroil yourself in heated discussions, arguments over money at this time. Wait till that transit passes. Let's direct you over to astrology.com.au, as I always do. If you want to find out more about what's happening this month, February 2023, you can check out our free resources there, daily, monthly, weekly, yearly readings, which are also available for you at this early stage of the year so you can get a handle on where you're going. Don't forget to subscribe, tell your friends, drop me a line, and I'll be here again next month. Take care, stay safe. Bye-bye.